Hello everybody. These are all the wines that I'm going to be tasting as part of my WSET level, diploma level, D5 course, which I have a test coming up relatively soon. And I don't have a tasting group because I don't live in the most ideal place. There's not a lot of WSET people close to me at the diploma level that are close, that are doing D5 and D4. I'm also doing D4, but that'll be another video. But I can't find or even get all the wines that they suggest on the WSET tasting list, but I'll throw a link to there. But I do have my Madeiras. I got some Madeiras here. And so the Cercial, and I got the Malumsey, and I've got another Madeira. So a Reserva Dry, so that should be pretty interesting. And then here are some of my ports that I picked up. I got a white port, and then I got a ruby, and then I have tawny that I picked up, which should be pretty interesting. And then here are my sherries. I'm actually really interested to try the Madeiras and the sherries. I don't know, honestly, the interesting thing about Diploma is that you do get to learn about a lot of kind of cool stuff. So I'm super interested about trying the Madeiras. And I just saw a video with Matthew Horkey, who he tried it's like a 180-year-old Madeira, and he compared that with a newer one, and that was a super cool video. I really enjoyed that. But here's some sherries. Don't know too much about sherry. Well, I know a lot about sherries from the materials, but I don't know actually much about the actual tastings of them, other than like Frasier episodes, and everybody's talking about sherry and their grandmothers and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's some pretty cool stuff that's going to happen with sherries. Here's an Oloroso that I'm really looking forward to trying. Here is a Fino, dry Fino, and then here is another Palomino Fino from Tito Pepe. Not easy to find a lot of sherries, and we'll see how that goes. I don't have a lot of cream sherries, only because I'm not super big on sweet stuff, and there's only so many limited things I can do. Couldn't find any VDNs. It's kind of impossible, but I did find a Muscat from Australia, a fortified Muscat, which is pretty soon. Oh, and speaking of the sherries, there's a Pedro Jimenez that I picked up, so I'm going to be cracking this guy open. This one has got a cork, so I might be able to Corvin this one, but because I hear this one is so syrupy and thick, I may not want to do that with the Corvin. So I'm not going to actually open all these on camera and do that, because I think that's just going to take way too long. But this is the craziness that I have to go through, and then I have to do this with champagne. So there's a whole, or I shouldn't say champagne, I have to do this with sparkling wines, of which champagne is one of, and I've got a couple of those. So there's a lot of tasting going on, and hopefully we'll get some interesting results. So stay tuned.